Plastic pollution problem is huge. You'll see plastic pollution in every river all over the globe.
Once in the environment, it will stay there for years, probably even for centuries.
My name is Philip Erhorn.
My name is Annemarieke Eveleens.
I'm one of the co-founders
of the Great Bubble Barrier.
The Great Bubble Barrier is a social enterprise with the mission to stop plastic pollution in rivers before it flows into the ocean. And we're doing that with bubble curtains.
It's basically a tube that we place diagonally at the bottom of a river with little hole on the side of it. The founders are all people with a huge passion for water. For example, sailors and surfers. While spending time on the water, we saw this pollution and it triggered us. We wanted to stop the pollution. And that's how we came up with the bubble barrier.
We are in Amsterdam, specifically at the so-called Dock. It's one of the major outlets from the city that lead towards the North Sea. The majority of the water leaving the city goes through this canal. So that was the reason why we chose to have a long-term system here. The bubble barrier system is mainly composed of three components: the curtain itself, the catchment system that collects the plastic, and then the compressor that's placed in a container. Once the trash is picked up from the catchment system, it goes into the waste stream. The catchment system has a mesh size of 10 millimeters. We do that because we don't want to filter everything out of the water. There's organisms that should stay in there.
Behind me we have the volunteers from the Plastic Soup Foundation that are sorting some of the trash that has been collected by Bubble Barrier.
We produce 500 billion kilos of plastic and we throw away 40% of that within a few minutes. The Great Bubble Barrier is a very friendly, non-invasive method to catch plastic and other trash out of rivers everywhere in the world. It's the first innovation to stop plastic pollution in a more intense way than just by catching it with water boats. This is one of the most important cities to target plastic because it's one of the most frequented cities in the world. We have over 1 million tourists a month. Over 25% of the city is water. That means that from the city of Amsterdam, a lot of trash can go through the North Sea.
We had many surprising findings in the system. One that is always really interesting for me is menu cards from restaurants and cafes all over the city that are just laminated or straight up plastic. I think it's a good example of an item that's not really comes to mind to people when it comes to plastic pollution.
A cigarette butt is plastic. One cigarette butt can pollute at least 8 liters of groundwater, but when you throw it straight in the canals of Amsterdam, it can pollute hundreds of liters of water.
We're not saying that by placing the bubble barrier we can solve this whole problem. but we think it's a significant tool to fight plastic pollution.
The Great Bubble Barrier should be everywhere. Wherever there is a river, put the Great Bubble Barrier in there.
Rivers and waterways are like the highways of the plastic pollution. The majority of the plastic in the ocean has traveled through rivers, and that's why we want to stop it right there.
What personally keeps me going is just fighting for the health of the ocean. Once you've identified a problem, you need to take action. The plastic pollution issue is still increasing, and we already know it has a devastating impact. So we should really start acting now while we still have the chance to prevent more and more plastics ending up in our environment.